it's nothing new to say our world that we know is in crisis. It's in multiple crises. The most urgent and threatening crises really ever in the history of the world. I think, the nuclear threat of my youth was perhaps equaling it in a way, and that threat is still there. But when we look at what's happening in the world and the inability of human beings as we are organized today in our minds and in our social systems, and those cannot be separated, the inability to deal with the overwhelming complexity of the world now. That's the biggest change. And I looked back at my life over the last 50 or 60 years. The amount of complexity that a given person is expected to deal with anywhere in the world, and there's no aspect of world complexity anymore that doesn't affect everybody. And we see the 20th century behind us was a century ripped apart by the reactions to modernity. I think we can understand fascism in overall because the ideologies differ, and but essentially it's a reaction to modernity, to modernism, which people were not prepared to handle. And so they fell back, they retreated into tribalisms, and they invented new tribalisms and new ways to separate from each other. Nazism, all the different fascisms we had, East and West, of course, Stalinism, all these, and tore the world apart over this, much of the world. Now we're in the same, we haven't resolved those things, and we're facing them even more urgently today. It comes out, the symptom is all this reaction to immigration and a fear of loss of something, which is spurring fascisms in your country and in mine. White supremacy, we thought that was over in America. America is founded in this racial conflict of slavery and Native Americans. And when I was young, after World War II, we felt we are finally really making progress on those issues. And no one in America, outside of an insane asylum, when I was young and when I was 25, would have said, I'm a white supremacist. If they thought it, they wouldn't have thought they could say it. But now they do. A white nationalism, the alt-right, and you have versions of it all over Europe. And so that's the crisis that keeps me working in areas that I didn't expect to be working this hard in, this much in at this age. I didn't expect to be starting at 7 a.m. with meetings.
Yeah, or